Well guys, Dave Mustaine is mad at Metallica again. This time we're going to settle the score once and for all. I mean, he's asking us to get our history straight before we choose sides, so let's do that.
By the way, before we get into it, I just want to let you know this video is sponsored by American Musical Supply. They've gone back to their pre-pandemic payment plans, 0% interest, 6 payments on orders $99 and up. Really good deals there. They have everything that you need. Thank you so much for them sponsoring this video, because now I can play all the Metallica and Megadeth that I want. So Metallica actually formed in California in 1981 when Lars put an ad in The Recycler newspaper looking for musicians who wanted to play music harder than what was going on in LA at the time. Apparently James Hetfield, who was playing in another band at the time, responded to the ad. This guy named Ron Quintana, apparently just some random metalhead in the Bay Area, gave them the name Metallica. So it was Lars, James, Ron McGovney on bass, and Dave Mustaine with the greatest band name in the world. Some guy just was like, hey, what about Metallica? Their first public show, James didn't really even play guitar, I don't think. He just sang. In that set, they played Hit the Lights, one of my favorite Metallica grooves ever. Apparently, Dave Mustaine wasn't happy about having to take on the frontman duties that James was responsible for, as well as, you know, be the lead guitar player. But at this point, there's no feud between Mustaine and the rest of the boys in Metallica, so what's the big deal? What's the problem? Well, there was an altercation between Dave Mustaine and James Hetfield sometime in 1982 when Dave Mustaine was, I guess, dealing some weed. And he got some big old guard dogs to, you know, protect his stash while he was out shredding. Big guard dogs are good to have. Apparently he brought his big guard dog to one of the Metallica band rehearsals later on, and the dog jumped on top of Ron McGovney's car. James kicked it off the car. It's kind of a messed up thing to do. I don't think I could do it, so I understand why Dave would be upset about that. So obviously this started a fight between Mustaine and Hetfield.
I slugged James in the mouth, and he what would you do if someone pelted you?
McGovney jumped in, and the martial arts trainer, Dave Mustaine's martial arts trainer, broke up the brawl. I guess they fired him right on the spot, and he eventually got back into the band after, you know, pleading and groveling, according to this article. I mean, kick a man's dog, he's gonna fight you. What do you expect? So I wonder if maybe this was James's way of getting Dave out of the band, you know, like, if I kick his dog, he'll fight me and then I'll be able to kick him out of the band. I don't know, just speculating. What unfolded next is a sort of he said, she said. People were getting drunk and high all the time, and Mustaine, of course, was a little more combative. He was easy to pick out amongst the other dudes who probably weren't behaving much better, you know, as far as how they were treating themselves, getting messed up, but at least they weren't hurting anyone like maybe Mustaine was. Maybe he wasn't in as much control. I don't know. Again, this is speculation, but Dave asked us to get our history, and I'm trying to find it from all these sources. I hope I'm getting it right. The sources are cited, so hopefully I'm not stepping over any lines, because what I'm about to say next is a little, well, egregious. In March 1983, the band was on tour in the Midwest. Mustaine was behind the wheel, taking his shift driving across the state of Wyoming, and mishandled the van and caused it to jackknife in the snow, where the band was almost killed, which is ironic, sadly. As we know, the tragic death of Cliff Burton, he died in a bus crash in 1986, so this was like foreshadowing some terrible event. Really messed up, but the point is, Dave almost killed the band, and after that it was pretty much done. They woke him up one day out of a drunken haze and sent him on a Greyhound bus home while the band flew away to whatever it is they were gonna do. And that context is important to have. I didn't know a lot of that, you know, the timeline sort of thing. I think it's important to have that context before you pick a side. I'm not picking any sides. I love Metallica, I love Megadeth, I'm all about the music, but I think it is interesting to examine this particular storyline because it just keeps coming up. I don't know if this is just because Mustaine's giving bass players a hard time, you know, just trying to make some headlines to get some attention on them. I don't know what the point of bringing up this 40-year-old story is. But you know me, every time a story like this comes out, I'm like, why is Dave bringing up this 40-year-old feud? Is he really still distraught about it? Why now? I'm sure he's got nothing else to promote. Oh, there we go. He's trying to promote a Tokyo show. Pretty cool though. Marty Friedman. Mustaine, after getting kicked out of the band, claimed that Kirk Hammett was just ripping off all his licks and solos and riffs, and the band was basically just stealing all of the stuff that he wrote while he was in the band. And, you know, there's probably some truth to that. But, like, what are you gonna do, man? You're gonna just whine it? You can't copyright it. You didn't copyright the riffs, so they're Metallica's riffs now. And I get how that would be frustrating, man. And I get how somebody who's, you know, probably pretty stubborn person. I don't know Dave Mustaine. I'm sure he's a nice enough person now, but I don't know if he's real stubborn and just holds grudges. You know, some people just hold grudges, and he's not over the fact that Metallica's still ripping Four Horsemen in huge arenas across the world. But as recent Super Bowl loser Jalen Hurts poetically said,
"You either win or you learn." That's how I feel. You either win or you learn.
So Dave, maybe, I don't know, just get over it. I mean, when you're saying that somebody ripped off your stage persona, that is the definition of egotistical. So apparently you're just not allowed to have long hair and be excited to play metal on stage and be a badass. Two people who are really good frontmen can exist in the same world, I assure you, Dave Mustaine. And this is the sad thing, is people with egos, they usually earn them, you know? Like, they're usually really, really good at what they do. It's something. Egotistical people who suck at everything, those are the worst. But, like, Dave Mustaine is a genius songwriter and amazing guitar player. So why say, like, they're stealing Leper Messiah? Who cares? It is the best song on Master of Puppets. But you're not losing out on huge royalties from Leper Messiah, let's be honest. And to be fair, this isn't all on Dave Mustaine as far as, like, the ego and substance abuse. Like, the whole band has dealt with a lot of different stuff and has huge egos. I think we've all seen some kind of monster. I love them for it. That's what makes them great. It's what makes them all great and makes them artists and allows their art to exude from their orifices in the most honest and authentic way possible. They're all very set in their own way, let's put it that way. Throughout the years, Mustaine and Hetfield have, like, come to terms with each other and, like, buried the hatchet. I thought, you know, they've been on stage together.
Mr. Dave Mustaine, thank you very much for your contribution to Metallica.
They apparently are afraid to tour with one another, or Metallica's afraid to tour with Megadeth, according to Dave. I don't think anyone's afraid to tour. And for the fans, yes, I think it would be an unbelievable tour to see Megadeth and Metallica. But I do think it's incorrect for Dave to insinuate that it would be equal for both bands as far as the benefits go. Megadeth would have a massive, massive spike in all things business if they were able to get on a headlining tour with Metallica, not the other way around. You know, the comment that Lars made in 1984 about Mustaine not being a very good guitar player and was gonna get replaced eventually, that hurts. Ooh, that hits you right in the heart. If you tell a guitar player they're not that good, they're never gonna forgive you for that. So I understand how Dave is harboring this rage even 40 years later. It's hilarious, actually. I really enjoy it. I'm glad that he said something about it, and I'm glad he holds on to it. It's probably what keeps him getting up every morning writing sick riffs. I think he misses the old days with Metallica boys, you know? Before all the booze and, you know, car crashes and crazy stuff happened, there was probably a time that he looks back on, James Hetfield, Ron McGovney, and Lars Ulrich, just having the best time, literally in a garage, thrash metal, just like doing awesome stuff, nobody watching but the four of them. I think he misses that, and I think maybe that's why he lashes out.
Me and James went to a bar the other night together and drank together, and it really reminded me of the old days quite a bit, you know. It was kind of weird. It was weird in a sense, but, you know, it felt good.
We definitely experienced a lot of cool stuff together that can never be changed and never be done again with the same innocence and virgin territory that we had covered. Virgin.
I wish both bands nothing but the best. What do you guys think about all this? Is it put to bed now? Like, can we just say this is the official Megadeth versus Metallica video once and for all? We're done. You know, let me know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video more than my dog did. He seemed pretty bored by it. James Hetfield or Dave Mustaine, Howard? Megadeth or Metallica? Oh. Can't we all just get along?